Welcome to News Edge, your sharpest source for daily headlines and deep dives. If you're new here, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and stay ahead of the curve. Amami Oshima, a beautiful island in the East China Sea, lush with forests and rare wildlife. But a shadow lurked, the habu, a venomous pit viper, nearly invisible among the leaves. It could grow over 2 meters long, and its bite was deadly. Every step outside was a risk. Children learned to scan the ground for danger. Every year, dozens were bitten. Modern medicine saved many, but fear lingered. The community fought back with hunts and bounties, but the habu proved resilient. For every snake caught, more seemed to appear, hidden and impossible to eradicate. The island's future depended on finding a way to end the habu's reign. The next chapter would change Amami Oshima forever. The habu wasn't just a threat to people, it threatened the island's way of life. Sugarcane fields, vital to the economy, became dangerous workplaces. Farmers wore thick boots, worked slowly, and some abandoned their fields. The community demanded action. Bounties and hunts weren't enough. Scientists from the mainland studied the habu, confirming its dominance. Traditional methods couldn't eradicate it. The idea of biological control emerged, introduce a natural predator. Debate raged. Some saw hope. Others feared new problems. What if the new animal caused more harm? Scientists argued careful planning could manage the risks. They believed they'd found the perfect candidate, a small, fearless mammal known for killing venomous snakes. The community, desperate for relief, agreed to the plan. The hope was for a final solution, a predator that would hunt the habu day and night. The risks were real, but the fear of the habu outweighed caution. The islanders placed their trust in science and nature. The decision was made. A new animal would be brought to Amami Oshima. The experiment would soon begin. The islanders hoped for freedom from fear. The world watched as Amami Oshima prepared for a dramatic change. The fate of the island hung in the balance. The next step would have consequences no one could foresee. The chosen animal was the small Asian mongoose. Agile, quick, and resistant to snake venom, the mongoose was famous for killing cobras. Scientists believed it would hunt the habu and keep its own numbers in check. The plan seemed elegant. Mongooses would eat snakes, and their population would stabilize as food ran out. The community saw the mongoose as a hero, a savior. Media called them snake killers. The experiment captured national attention. The stage was set for a showdown: mongoose versus habu. The islanders hoped for a future free from fear. The plan was approved, and anticipation grew. The mongoose was about to be released. No one imagined the true impact this small predator would have. The story was about to take a dramatic turn. Nature's balance was about to be tested. The consequences would echo for generations. In 2000, Operation Snake Killer began. 30 mongooses arrived, acclimated, and were released into the wild. Scientists, officials, and residents watched with hope. The planned mongooses would breed, spread, and hunt the habu. Early signs were promising. Mongooses adapted well. Camera traps and surveys tracked their progress. The community waited for reports of mongooses preying on habu. The island held its breath, expecting victory over the snake. The project was based on one crucial assumption: mongooses would target habu. For months, everything seemed on track. The community was patient, believing in a long-term solution. The islanders dreamed of a safer future. But the change that came was not what anyone expected. The experiment was about to reveal its flaws. The true test was just beginning. After a year, the data was in, and it was alarming. The mongoose population exploded, thriving in the island's climate. But they weren't hunting habu. The two rarely met. Mongooses are active by day, habu by night. they lived on different schedules. Instead, mongooses preyed on easy targets: eggs, chicks, rare rabbits, lizards, and frogs. The island's unique wildlife, unprepared for this new predator, suffered. The mongoose, meant to be a hero, became a villain. The habu problem remained. People were still bitten. Now, a new crisis emerged. The mongoose population was out of control. Scientists realized they'd overlooked basic animal behavior. The cure was worse than the disease. The ecosystem was unraveling. The project was turning into an ecological disaster. The community's hope turned to alarm. The island faced two threats: the habu and the invasive mongoose. The experiment's failure was undeniable. The consequences were spreading fast. The island's natural balance was collapsing. The cost of a quick fix was becoming painfully clear. The mongoose's impact rippled through the ecosystem. Ground-nesting birds and the endangered amami rabbit were decimated. Native reptiles and amphibians, unique to the island, became easy prey. The food web collapsed. Predators struggled. Insect pests surged. The ecosystem's delicate balance was destroyed. The habu population remained strong, largely unaffected. In some ways, the mongoose even helped the habu by removing other predators. Now, Amami Oshima had two major problems: venomous snakes and invasive mongooses. The dream of a simple solution had become a nightmare. The island's unique heritage was at risk. The consequences of the experiment were far-reaching and severe. 10 years later, Amami Oshima was transformed. The mongoose population soared to 10,000, spreading everywhere. Native biodiversity collapsed, birds vanished, forests fell silent. The government reversed course, launching a massive mongoose eradication program. Trappers, dogs, and millions of dollars were deployed. Removing the mongoose proved far harder than introducing it. The islanders watched their natural heritage disappear. The mongoose, once a savior, became a symbol of unintended consequences. The lesson was clear: nature's complexity defies simple fixes. The price of a quick solution was devastating. The community faced regret and frustration. The habu remained a threat, but now the island's soul was at stake. The scars of the experiment would last for generations. By 2025, after 15 years of eradication efforts, the mongoose was finally gone. The island began to heal. Amami rabbits and some birds returned. The forests slowly regained their song. But the ecosystem remained fragile, scarred by the invasion. Some species would never recover. Genetic diversity was lost. The habu snake persisted, unchanged by the experiment. Islanders learned to coexist with the habu, relying on awareness and anti-venom. The story became a global lesson in the dangers of biological control. Amami Oshima is now a living laboratory for restoration and caution. The eradication program became a model for other islands. The island paid a terrible price, but its lessons are invaluable. The scars remain, a reminder of what can go wrong. The wildness that endures is cherished more than ever. The story of Amami Oshima is a cautionary tale. Ecosystems are complex webs. Introducing a new species can have catastrophic, unpredictable effects. The desire for a quick fix led to disaster. Scientists failed to consider basic animal behavior. The plan's fatal flaw was simple. Today, such proposals face rigorous review and risk assessment. The island's ordeal made conservation science more cautious. Nature and people proved resilient. Recovery is slow but possible. The community now fiercely protects its unique biodiversity. The experience forged a deeper bond with the land. The lesson: we are part of nature, not its masters. Imposing our will has consequences. The people of Amami Oshima nearly lost their island soul. Their hard-won lesson is one the world must remember.